Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to askNK. Today we're taking a look at the beautiful add-on known as Conform Object. Conform Object is made available by Mac and it is a beautiful add-on that you can use to conform objects to surfaces. So just in case you've been thinking about it, then this add-on is definitely something you should check out, as I'm going to put a link in the description that can bring you right here and you can see the magic and the beautiful things that this can do. Despite the fact that you can snap objects to surfaces, this comes with two options that you can use. So there is the grid mode and also the shrink wrap mode, which makes a lot of sense. And of course with this said, let's dive directly into Blender and take a look at how this actually works. So with Blender simply opened right here, how you get these things to work is as simple as going over to edit, going over to preference, and then install the add-on. And once you do, if you press N on the keyboard, you would notice that we have conform right here. So how do you conform things to a surface? So for this, we will bring up an icosphere, and I'm just going to increase this all the way up. Go over here where we have our cube, and I'm moving that cube over to a point like this. And then let's just subdivide this a bit. Right click, and let's just right click, have that selected, right click, make that a smooth shade, and I'm just going to go ahead and simply apply it. Now we have this object. Now with this object here, if we would like it to be conformed onto the surface, we can have the object selected, then select the surface, go over to Object Conform and click on Conform. Or you can also choose to conform things in a very interesting way by having this selected, then you can select this, right click, and then you can conform. Now, one thing to also keep in mind is if you choose to conform stuff, I would suggest that these things are staying around the surface of the object you like to conform. So in this case, I would actually suggest that you move the object to sit around the surface in a sense like this. So let's say we'll have it sitting right on the surface. This is one of the cool things that you can do to conform it, else you might eventually have some errors. So if you have this selected, hold down shift, select this other one, use this, or you can right click, go over to Conform Objects and click on Conform Objects. And once you conform this object, you can now see that we have that there. And of course we can select this and now start moving around, and you can see that this object automatically conforms to the topology or to the surface of the snapped object. So you can see that here, and this looks pretty nice. You can definitely use this for a lot of things and it's quite interesting. Now let's just simply unconform this and back up a bit and take a look at something else. So if we would like to conform a surface, an object like this onto a surface, there are certain things that you can do with this. So in this case, if I have this selected, hold down shift and click, right click, go over to conform this, you'll notice that we have a conform object operator right here. So within the method, we have the grid method and the shrink wrap, and we're definitely going to talk about them. But down here, you now see that we have a gradient effect. So the gradient effect now has a start and an end. And what does this mean? If you start cranking this all the way up, you would notice that it has some sort of effect, but you will probably not see all of this effect. So what you need to do is to subdivide this object. So you can choose to unconform this and then add a subdivision modifier, or you can click on the add simple subdivision and you can subdivide this. And once you start subdividing it, you can now see all the beauty that this actually has. So we can subdivide this all the way to 5 and that looks cool. And we can start cranking this up and you can see. So you see that we have the start point, and the start point actually controls how this thing appears or how it behaves. And we can also use the endpoint and also get some very interesting results like this. So we can crank this all the way down and bring it up, and we can also use this and make some changes. We can choose to switch from linear all the way to constant and have just one parameter that we can tweak just to fit in this however we want. Now there is also something else that I did notice. I think it makes sense to bring it to you guys notice, and it's the idea that if you already have an object placed on this and you choose to use the simple subdivision, this might not necessarily give you what you want. So I would suggest turn this off, unconform this, select this object, throw in a subdivision surface, make that simple, increase this. Let's go ahead and crank this all the way to 5, and you can probably just go ahead and apply it. Now if we have that selected and hold down shift and select this and right click and go over to conform and click on conform, you can now see that if we switch to linear, we are having a different kind of result that looks even way cleaner. So we can now move this all the way up and down and you can see this beautiful effect. So depending on what you like to create now, you now notice that we have this beautiful effect that simply uses a gradient to drive how these things actually behave. If you like to offset this, you can offset it. If you like to actually go ahead and collapse the modifiers by simply collapsing this simple subdivision that we looked at earlier, you can also do that. And right here, you can see that we have a deformation grid, which is the grid that we are using to deform this object. So with this said, we can also choose to play with a different method known as the shrink wrap. So this is also another pretty interesting method that I like. And you know, like I said earlier, I would suggest that if you're going to be working with this, try as much as possible to subdivide this earlier. So once you have this here, you now notice that we also have exactly the same gradient effect. So we can still use this and, you know, get some pretty interesting details like this going back and forth. And you can also use this to actually do some more crazy stuff. So this is just quite interesting, and I like the idea that you can shrink and wrap things to surfaces and you can even manipulate them. You know, contrary to what we have by default, which is just shrink wrap and that stores there, you have this here, and you can start doing some pretty impressive and lovely things with it. So this is more like it for those who would like to play with this, you like to use it, you know, you want to do some very interesting things with it. You can simply go over to Mark King's North page and check out some of the interesting updates to this. You can also take a look at the documentation if this is what you want, and you can go over to his storefront and check out some of the other things that he has to offer. And that's about it. I've teased this in the community before, talked about it in several videos, and right now we're talking about it. So just in case you've been wondering what this tool does, how you can work with it, you have it right here and you can go ahead and start playing with it. Tell me what you guys think about this one in the comment section, and of course if you like this video or you learned something from this, you can go ahead and give it a like, and don't forget to share with a friend. And until I see you guys in the next one, peace.